Hi friends, welcome to today's Hindu newspaper reading session. First news that Human Development Index report released. This report every year released by UNDP, that is United Nations Development Program. Since 1990s it is releasing, and this index is was developed by Mehboob ul Haq. He was the Pakistani economist in 1990s. So one more index that inequality adjusted HDI was developed in 2010. What are the three dimensions used in this index are that first one is long and healthy life, second is access to the knowledge, and third is decent standard of life. Next, let us look at the India's performance. India has improved its position to 130 from 131 out of 189 countries. In every indices it has improved its performance. First is that life expectancy at birth increased by almost 11 years, and gross national income per capita rose by 266%, and mean years of schooling increased by 3.4 years. Next news item is that government moves to stabilize the rupees. Now government is thinking review the restriction put on the foreign portfolio investors. That what are the restriction now? That FPI's investment in single corporate entity cannot exceed 20% of its corporate bond, and second restriction now is that they cannot invest more than 50% of an issue of corporate bonds. These two restrictions going to be reviewed. Next item is related to Doklam issue. Doklam final report, Lord Government, that panel on external affairs headed by Congress leader Shashi Tharoor's report. It said that the road constructed by China has not dismantled in Doklam still, and it prized the brevity and timely action shown by the security forces during Doklam issue and Doklam conflict, and it showed its concern, and it's lamented that government stand was not yet clear regarding Doklam issue. The two suggestions made by the report that India should not take the China lightly at any point, and India need to improve road on the Indian side, and it has to include the technological adaptation also, and India should not leave the whistle down, and India always keeps an eye on Doklam Plateau. And National Hindi Divas celebrated every year on 24 September because on the same day in 1949 the Indian Constitutional Assembly adopted the Hindi written in Devanagari script as the official language of the Republic of India, and in Constitution there is a provision for two languages, that is Hindi and English, as used as the official language of Indian out of 22 scheduled languages. Next issue is that SC questions, the Supreme Court questions the leprosy free tag of India, because still only out of 642 districts only 543 districts are reached the benchmark set by the WTO. Then how can India declared as leprosy free? And by declaring leprosy free, India put the leprosy disease in general health service. Then India the government does not show any concern to improve the conditions of the leprosy suffering patients, and now leprosy patients and their family are suffering from the leprosy disease, even the stigma associated with the leprosy, and they are deprived of the right to food, and even they are not getting benefit from Antyodaya Anna Yojana. The leprosy is the bacterial disease, and symptoms, these leprosy symptoms doesn't appear in short duration, that it takes 5 to 20 years to the symptoms to appear, and the gradually skin loses its sensitivity when the person is affected by leprosy diseases, and the poor people are more susceptible to these diseases, and this disease can be treated through multi-drug therapy, and antibiotics may also be used. And now these treatments are provided free of charge by the World Health Organization. You need to remember one more important thing, that India accounts for the more than half of the world leprosy patients. In last year, a newspaper report, one more newspaper report said that new leprosy cases registered in India is more than nearly 60% of new leprosy cases in the world. That is almost 1,35,000 new cases were registered in India in 2016, and that mostly the Jharkhand and Bihar state registered more patients, because that now government stopped free medicines, and it stopped the door-to-door survey in diagnosing the new leprosy cases. The other news, Indian Air Force ready for space challenge, that now Indian Air Force ready to help the space man-made spacecraft in what India is planning in 2022. That is now it ready to play key role in human engineering support and development of the space crew capsules. This you need to focus on the institution, that is Institute of Airspace Medicine. This is the premier institute of Indian Air Force. You need to remember this. The report from US Congress, that is India, a religious freedom issue. The report title is that India religious freedom issue. It said that India is eroding its secular culture, that by the instance such as that cow vigilantism and lynching, mass lynching, some lynchings happening in India, it tarnishing the India's image as the secular country. Remember the title name, that India religious freedom issue is the title of the report. The another news related to the environment and ecology, that is pollution cools the monsoon days. That study says that aerosols emission cause temperature drop of 1 degree Celsius. First is, what is aerosol? Aerosols are the solid and liquid particles in the air or any gases in the atmosphere. So what report says that because of the increased pollution level, aerosols are rising in the atmosphere. Because of these presence of a lot of aerosols in the atmosphere, it increases the number of clouds in the atmosphere. These clouds reflect back the sun's rays, shortcoming sun's rays back. That is what we called. Then due to this, the day's temperature is decreasing and night temperature is increasing. The diurnal difference of temperature is coming down. What is diurnal differences? When the difference is difference between the day's temperature and night temperature is called the diurnal difference of the temperature. The other news related to law, that is Apex Code modify its order of last year setting up of citizens committee in districts. The Supreme Court's last year verdict that government should set up a family welfare committee in each and every district. This family welfare committee will evaluate the reality of the validity of the complaint made by the woman against the family harassment against the husband and is lost the family husband side. So this section, the dowry harassment section is 498 IPC. So last year what Supreme Court said is that there should be family welfare committee comprised of the choice citizens. This committee will evaluate the reality of the complaint, validity of the complaint. Then when this committee clear that the complaint is valid, then only police can file FIR. Then one more provision was made in last year's, one more concession made, that person can be exempted from presenting before the court during the harassment hearing case. You should apply for that. But now what Supreme Court is telling, that there is no provision for family welfare committee in the Code of Criminal Procedure. So it is the beyond the Code of Criminal Procedure. And one more thing, that police can immediately file the FIR and designated police officer to probe the dowry complaint. And in last year Supreme Court said that district court can close the complaint out of court settlement if they are ready to, the complainant, the accused and the victim are ready to out of court settlement, then district courts can close the dowry case complaint. But now it said that only High Court has that power to close the dowry cases. The wiping out AIDS by 2030 will not easy. Why it is saying that? Look at the cases, HIV cases of 2015 and 2017. The reduction in HIV cases is very low. That's why it is saying that 21 lakhs people living with HIV in 2007, just only marginal differences that of 2015 cases, that is 21.17 lakhs patients were living with HIV in 2015. Only marginal difference between is there. That was the HIV complaints, reduction in HIV patients is very slow. That's why it is not possible to wiping out the target of HIV cases by 2030. So thank you for staying with. So please leave the comments, the box below. Thank you.